Seigneury Kahnawake, Chief Mike Delisle here. Happy to be in your homes again. Thank you for welcoming me. I have a few updates for you. It's been a bit of time since you saw me last based on schedule. So happy to report back to the community on several initiatives that Council is involved in, mostly economic development, and a brief update at the end about Seigneury of Sault St. and the old mill site. Firstly, happy to report that sustainable energy, sustainable development is alive and well, and we continue to move on an initiative based on a call for tender by Hydro-Quebec in March, calling for wind energy projects within the Montérégie region, which surrounds Kahnawake. Specifically, two areas that Kruger has identified in Hemmingford, close to the border, as well as Napierville, where we feel that we will be involved and good locations in terms of partnership moving forward. There is a requirement for Indigenous allocation, I'll say, to be within this call for tender. That's why we are working with our existing partner. We've talked to other people as well, but because we are familiar in both ways with each other in Kruger, so it makes sense that we would try and do something that way because, as I said, in March, the call for tender came out. The end is early September, so decisions need to be made. There's been weekly meetings and it's ongoing discussion. So no decision has been made yet, but it looks favorable in terms of our involvement, partnership, and even possible investment in terms of owning part of the farm itself, having equity within the two project developments. So more to come in the next 3 to 4 weeks coming up to the decision point, and you'll be informed as to what the decisions are moving forward. Secondly, the Investment and Revenue Committee has been given the go-ahead and green light by Council by passing the policy, and the Kahnawake Sovereign Wealth Fund, which derives its, I'll say, beginnings from the sale of Continent 8 shares back in 2016 to the tune of about 32 million to do investing. So we're looking forward, and it's a 100-year plan, which seems like a long time for you and I, but we are looking to ensure that the future of Kahnawake is bright and that we are self-sustaining, self-fulfilling in terms of financial acumen here in the community. Council has agreed to do a minimal 10-year pause, if you will, in terms of what that fund will be doing, meaning that it's not going to draw from it minimally for 10 years. We all understand that there are emergencies, fires, and things that we cannot foresee into the future that may need something, but this fund needs to remain whole, if I could call it that, at least for 10 years, and there are prescribed periods in 10, 20, 50, and 100 years in terms of what the projections of what it could become out of that $32 million moving forward. And it will be compounded. So part of the fund, about 95% of it, 90%, will be invested in the market and will be helped through the knowledge of an independent financial expert who has been brought on board. It's a 5-member committee, myself as the chair, as the lead portfolio chief for economic development, non-voting, to be able to, again, build capital and sustainability for ourselves. That being said, we're never going to let the federal government off the hook in terms of the fiduciary obligation. They do provide, obviously, tens of millions of dollars a year for operations. We're never going to say that we don't need the money. They owe us, obviously, a lot more than that, lands, monies, and so on. But this would be a major step in us being able to become independent. Not only financially, but also I think beyond that, politically, operationally, economically, and otherwise. So great step forward. It's been a long time in coming. Obviously, the sale of Continent 8 shares happened in 2016. Some of the money was hived off for community investment through Community Initiatives Fund. This project is specific for wealth and growth in terms of fiscal and financial responsibility and accountability back to the community. So happy to report that. We're having the next meeting soon, and this financial expert that we've brought on board on a meeting-by-meeting basis will be able to give us, obviously, information to help us make those types of decisions, the bodies that are voting within, and they are all internal to Kahnawake, as well as other experts that we will bring on board as fund managers for some of the largest funds within North America. This will be North America based. So more detail to come, but again, it's a major step forward in financial independence for Kahnawake in the future. At last blush, I'll say we've been talking about the old mill site in Delson behind Pizza Como, a 1.1 acre of land that is recognized as Kahnawake, always has been, not only by the municipality, but by the province and the federal government. We were talking about utilizing that and launching a date where people could come and gather and decide how it would be utilized. It's on Turtle River. It's beautiful. Public Works has been out there to take a look and assessment. The reason why it's taking a little bit longer is that the Kahnawake Environmental Protection Office just finally completed its phase 2 environmental study, which means they did a little bit more soil sampling, water sampling, and so on, not just the walkabout that they did previously. We want to make sure that it's safe for our community. If the water is drinkable, if the gathering there and harvesting of any type of medicines or what have you, based on the expertise that would go and take a look at it, is safe to use. So once that is done, probably in the fall, we'll be announcing a date where we'll be holding a community gathering there to have dialogue and discussion on what the usage could be moving forward. So again, just in closing, thank you for your time again, and we hope that this is helpful information, useful information, and you welcome me back into your home at a future point in time. So, Yawangoa, thank you.